You stay quiet as you move through the day. It feels natural. It feels like the right distance between you and other people. You are present, but not forward. You are there, but not pressing. You know how to keep your voice inside until it is needed, and often you decide it is not needed at all. Staying quiet shapes how you hold your body. Your shoulders do not ask for space. Your face stays neutral. You let others finish. You let silences stretch. You are aware of how much room your words might take if you let them out. You measure before you speak, and the measuring feels automatic, not chosen. You notice things while you stay quiet. You notice who talks easily. You notice who fills gaps fast. You notice when a pause makes someone uncomfortable. You hear small changes in tone. You sense when a room shifts. None of this feels special. It just feels like what happens when you are quiet and paying attention. When a thought comes up, it does not rush. It waits. You turn it over inside first. You check its weight. You check its timing. You check what might happen if it lands wrong. Often, you decide to keep it to yourself. That choice does not feel dramatic. It feels clean. It feels like order. You are used to holding things without showing them. Opinions, reactions, questions. They stay contained. You can feel them clearly even while they stay inside. You do not feel empty when you are quiet. You feel full, but closed. In conversation, you leave space. You nod. You respond when spoken to. You do not interrupt the flow. You let other voices take the lead. You stay steady in the background, alert and aware. This way of being has a shape to it. It has a posture. It has a rhythm. You move through life with this quiet intact. It follows you into rooms. It follows you into relationships. It follows you even when no one is watching. Staying quiet feels like how you remain balanced. It feels like how you stay in place. You stay quiet in many places, not just one. It shows up again and again without effort. At work, you listen before you speak. You wait until the room settles. You wait until others have said what they need to say. Even then, you choose your words carefully, or you let them go. Staying quiet feels consistent. It feels like how you move through shared space. In groups, you stay on the edges of the sound. You are involved, but not loud. You follow the thread of the conversation without pulling it. When attention turns toward you, you respond briefly. You give enough, but not more. You notice how fast things move when people talk over each other. You notice how easy it is to disappear when you do not compete for space. Disappearing does not feel like panic. It feels like relief. You stay quiet when something bothers you. The feeling shows up, but it stays inside. You watch it instead of sending it out. You think about how it might land. You think about what it might change. Often, you decide that saying nothing keeps things steady. Silence becomes a way of keeping the ground from shifting. You stay quiet even when you know what you think. You do not need to test it out loud. You do not need to be heard to feel certain. Your thoughts feel complete inside you. They do not ask to be witnessed. When others speak with confidence, you listen. When they speak with certainty, you listen. Your quiet does not mean agreement. It means restraint. In moments where others react quickly, you slow down. You pause. You hold back. You give yourself time that no one sees. Staying quiet gives you room to watch what unfolds without adding to it. You let situations pass without leaving a mark. This feels controlled. It feels contained. You also stay quiet when there is nothing to say. You do not fill the space. You let silence exist without fixing it. You are used to silence. It does not rush you, it does not scare you. It feels familiar, like standing still while others move around you. This pattern repeats without announcement, conversation after conversation, day after day. Staying quiet does not feel like a choice you make each time. It feels like a setting that stays in place. You carry it with you, and it carries you through moments that look different on the outside, but feel the same on the inside. You stay quiet, even when the moment feels full, even when something inside you presses forward and waits. You feel it clearly. It is not confusion, it is not absence. It is something formed and ready, held back by the same steady grip you have always used. You notice the pressure, and you keep it contained. There are moments when staying quiet costs you something. The cost is not loud. It does not announce itself. It shows up as a slight ache, as a thought that softens because it stayed inside too long, as a feeling that never fully arrives because it was never spoken. You register this without drama. You do not argue with it. You continue. You spend a lot of time holding things in place, reactions, judgments, needs. You feel them move, and you keep them still. This takes effort, even when it feels normal. The effort is quiet, too. It does not ask to be seen. It feels like background work, always running. People often read your quiet as ease. They see someone who is calm, someone who does not need much, someone who is fine with whatever happens next. You allow this reading. You do not correct it. You do not add detail. Letting others believe this feels simpler than changing the shape of the moment. At times, you are overlooked. Not ignored exactly, but passed by. The conversation moves on without you. The decision is made without your voice. You are there, but not central. Sometimes this feels neutral. Sometimes it feels like a dull weight. Either way, you accept it as part of staying quiet. You do not reach for the center once it is moved away. There are moments when words feel close. You can sense them fully. You know their order. You know their tone. You know how they would land if you let them out. You picture the room shifting. You picture the pause. You picture the attention turning toward you. Often, that picture is enough. The words fold back inside. Things remain steady. Silence keeps things from changing too fast. It keeps reactions from spilling. It keeps you from having to manage what comes after speaking. This is not something you tell yourself. It is something your body already knows. You trust it without maiming it. You stay quiet even when no one has asked you to, even when the space could hold your voice. The habit does not lift just because the moment is open. It stays with you. It holds its shape. You move with it automatically. There is a certain dignity in this way of being. Not pride, not strength, just steadiness. You do not disappear completely. You do not collapse inward. You remain present. You remain aware. You remain contained. The quiet asks something of you again and again. It asks you to hold what could be said. It asks you to carry it alone. You do this without ceremony, without asking if it should be different. You stay with it. You let the tension remain. You continue to move through your life this way, quiet, intact, posture unchanged. You have stayed quiet for a long time, long enough that it feels like part of how you move, not something you put on. It sits close to you. It shapes how you enter rooms and how you leave them. It does not ask for attention. It does not announce itself. It is simply there. When you look at this way of being, you do not need to pull it apart. You do not need to explain it. You can see that staying quiet once made sense. It fit the spaces you were in. It fit what was needed. It allowed you to stay steady, to stay aware, to stay in control of what moved between you and others. This quiet helped you keep things from spilling. It helped you keep things from breaking open too fast. It gave you a way to stay present without being exposed. You did not imagine this posture. You learned it by living inside it. It became familiar before it became noticeable. You can acknowledge that without changing anything. You do not need to loosen your grip or tighten it. You do not need to decide what comes next. You can let this way of being exist as it is, not as a problem, not as a solution, just as something that has been there. Staying quiet does not mean nothing is happening. It means much of it happens inside. That has been true for you for a long time. You have carried full thoughts, clear reactions, and steady awareness without putting them into the room. That is a real way of being. It has weight. It has presence. You may notice that this quiet still shows up even when things are calm, even when there is space, even when nothing would break if you spoke. That is not something you need to resolve. It is simply how this posture stays with you. You can let this recognition stand without moving away from it, without moving toward anything else. You stay quiet. You know that now. You let it be named. You let it remain.